Hi, my name is Eddie Garcia. I'm 59 years old. I'm married to my wife, Sandra, and we have two daughters. So 2010, things were going really well for me. I was president of the Eastside Union High School District Board of Trustees, and I was also chief of staff to the president of the Board of Supervisors in Santa Clara County. So I was burning the candle at a whole bunch of ends, and I felt like I was on top of the world. It seemed like everything was falling into place. On the morning of June 7th, I went to the gym as I usually do, and wasn't feeling right. I had some pressure in my shoulders, I felt a little bit of pressure in my throat. I stopped working out, got in the shower, went to work. By the end of that night, I was in the emergency room with a trio of doctors telling me that I was having a heart attack. And it was a pretty massive heart attack. I had to get a stent that night, and my life changed in a second.
Time is always of essence when you're having a cardiac event, but especially so for the kind of heart attack that he was diagnosed with. It was fortunate that he got medical attention when he did, but clearly he was in a serious condition. Heart disease is the #1 cause of death in the US, and the latest statistics show that almost 875,000 Americans suffered a heart attack. That's 1 every 40 seconds. Eddie did not become a fatal statistic because he acted quickly and even recognized some of the signs as cause for alarm. Shoulder and arm pain, troubled breathing, tightening of the chest are just some of the signals. There are more and often not consistent.
So once I was out of surgery, I found out what happened. My widowmaker, it's called the left anterior descending artery, was 100% blocked. And that caused huge damage to the left side of my heart. So 10 days later, while I was still in the hospital, I was in the ICU from the heart attack, my lungs stopped working. Because of that, I was placed on a ventilator to help me breathe, and I was medically induced into a coma to give my lungs and my body a chance to rest. So it was a very difficult time for my wife and my daughters. My wife literally lived in the ICU with me. During that summer, my situation was day to day and sometimes hour to hour. 2 times the doctors told my wife and my daughters that I might not get through the night. So when I awoke from the coma, I couldn't move anything. The medication left me completely immobile. I was essentially paralyzed. I was confused, but I was alive. Well, I couldn't change my genetics. I could make some lifestyle changes, eating better, reducing stress, and exercising, which I always did. So I wanted to do that not only for myself, but to set an example for my family. If there's one thing I really learned throughout this whole journey is that medical research and advancement is amazing. Because of organizations like the American Heart Association, people who have heart disease, which is the #1 killer in the United States, have a fighting chance. And it's because of the American Heart Association and all the science behind heart disease prevention, that's the reason why I'm here today. So I started writing my blog, first of all, because I really wanted to understand what happened to me. I realized it could also be a vehicle to help others.
Writing a blog was an ideal way for Eddie to channel his feelings and reflect on what's happened. Many survivors feel confused and overwhelmed after this life-changing event, and writing some of those feelings down, or even post-treatment instructions that the doctor gives you, could make you feel back in control. He considered his family history. As his health improved, Eddie also began thinking of making lifestyle changes. His attitude was excellent, which also helps in the recovery process.
After my transplant in 2020, I decided to put it all together, and I published a book as a cautionary tale. But there's hope. You can advocate for yourself. You can learn more about heart health, eat a better diet, exercise, do what you need to do to stay healthy. And I encourage everybody to do that. It could save your life.